I guess we can get the conversation started and people file in as we're talking. But who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today from the Gas Guzzlers team?
So I'm D-Gens of DeFi. My co-founder is Longshot. I'm a founder. He can't be here today. He's eating lunch with his sister. But it's all good. So basically, we're Gas Guzzlers, right? We're this great project that everyone's seen right now. Do you want me to talk about my team at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I guess feel free to start with the team and then maybe a broad overview of Gas Guzzlers, and then I want to ask you some questions about some of the stuff I saw in your.
Okay, so our team building our team was a really hard part. We've been doing Gas Guzzlers for about 8 months, and when we first started, it was hard to find the right people. The right people are hard to reach. They're in high demand. But luckily, we got Oxytocin as our devs. Oxytocin is Gojira devs, Yeti Town. They do a lot of blue chip projects. And then we have on our front end of our Mint website, we got a Doodles dev. Luckily, we got some connections when we first opened our Discord privately, which I'll talk about later. But we got some good connections when we were able to get in with a Doodles dev, his name is Deep Blue Steve. Bridge 3, they're our advising and marketing. They've sold out multiple projects with help of Nikki G, people like that. If you know our advisor, his name is Simon R22. He's not super well known, but he is our advisor. And then West is Collabs for Bridge 3, if anyone knows West. Ed Dinzel is our artist. He's doxed. This is his 4th collection. So he has a really unique art style that we love. And we found him through Blockchain Miners Club, which is a project that I think they peaked in December, but they've still been, they still have a lot of utility and they still have a lot of growth. But we found him in December when we got the Gas Guzzlers idea, and we reached out to him. It took at least 3 months to actually get in the door with Ed. He's a super in-demand artist. So that's a little bit about our team. We have, the right people to get the job done with Gas Guzzlers, and it's a really good team, in my opinion.
Dude, that's awesome. It's really great to talk to people who are out here building teams. I know we kind of are just stepping out of a bit of a degen meta with free mints and really just artwork with nothing else, but really hoping to see NFTs return to well thought out projects with interesting utility, interesting roadmaps, and yeah, absolutely familiar with the artists. I remember when those were big on the scene, and I mean, they just kept going up and up. So really cool that you secured such an in-demand artist. But just on the dev side, I'm really excited that you guys have a Doodles dev as well as some others. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for our development. I can't talk about it because our utilities are not released yet. We will have utility, but our development is going to be amazing. And yeah, like I said, it was really hard to land some of these people, but we got them. So let me talk a little bit about how we even conceptualized Gas Guzzlers. This was I would say January, when gas was pretty high, right? When ETH was pretty high as well. We thought, no one has talked about gas. No one has talked about this staple and all these fees that everyone's paying. No one has made that into art. So we were like, obviously we got to make a gas pump. And originally it was going to be a PFP. But if you look at our art on our page, it's not really a PFP. It's more of an environment where you can isolate the actual pump if you want to use it as a PFP. But we wanted to make it something different, something eye-catching. I think the PFP, it's a little played out at this point. We saw the peak, in my opinion, with Azuki and Hape, right around that January, February time period, when those projects that just had released the animation, just had used the reveal technique, were popping really hard. So that was kind of how we thought about the art. Ed really took the art to a whole nother level, that I can't even take credit for that. So that's why, our project this far has been pushed by our art, but we're slowly releasing utility. We just released a hint to our first utility, I would say, what day is it? Thursday? I think we released it Monday. And all our hints for utilities are going to be animations if you follow along in our campaign.
Yeah, I've been noticing on Twitter you guys have this weird alien language that I've been trying to decipher and figure out. Does that have to do with the teasers of utility? Is it hidden in your Twitter media, or is it only via the Discord?
So it's a little bit of everything. We like to give our Discord alpha, right? We like to let our community know what we're doing a little bit beforehand, reward them a little bit early. But it's really a mix of everything. We're using the media. If you pick up clues in the media, you might get certain things from us. if you look at, the alien transcript, it'll give you clues to where the campaign is maybe heading. And then we do a bunch of giveaways and events in our Discord. So our Discord, the people that are always there and are always speaking with us and doing the events, those people know the alpha and those people really know what's up. We had a Clash Royale event today. It was super fun. We had a whole tournament.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's very fun. For this alien language, is there like a decipher key anywhere? Is this a standard alien language, or is this something brand new that you guys thought of?
What I would, it's honestly just from an alien transfer website. Like, it takes like 2 minutes. If you copy and paste, this is alpha. But if you copy and paste the alien script into like a browser, you should be able to find the translator and then just insert it in there and see what we're saying. Some people are catching on, they're speaking about it in our Discord in the alien language. My mom's reading the Discord. She's like, what does this mean? It's our own language, it's the gas guzzlers. It's much like, the Goblin Town, the weird font styles and stuff like that. It's just a way for us to communicate within our own little ecosystem.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm scrolling through Twitter right now. I'm trying to figure out what kind of clues and goodies are hidden here. So that's pretty exciting. I guess when you talk about hidden utility and stuff that's coming out in the future, is it something that's going to be revealed over time, or is it sort of one main utility that's going to be announced in the future, and then that utility is going to be something that you guys run with for a while?
Yeah, so it's probably going to be one main utility, and then we're going to have obviously secondary utilities, but we want to focus all our effort and all of our concentration, at least for the first portion of our roadmap, into one utility that we can develop to be, self-sustaining and run for a while. We want to have at least one staple utility in the NFT market that people can use, if they buy NFTs. And I really would like to say more about the utility, but that's what I can say. If you buy NFTs, you'll love our utility.
Awesome. Yeah, and feel free to tell me you can't answer any questions. I'm still going to keep asking you stuff. I've definitely dealt with some projects that are trying to dance around utility reveals. So I don't need you to let the cat out of the bag, but if you could maybe clue us in as to in terms of buying, is it something that's scalable? So you'll be rewarded with the more gas guzzlers that you can buy in terms of the utility, or is it going to be maybe Equa utility just for any holder, anyone who has a gas guzzler?
I would love to speak on it. What I will say is that gas guzzlers, our utility is made to be completely dynamic. It's a very staple utility, but we're making it dynamic in the sense that we're going to be ready to deal with every outcome. If it's the most optimal for our holders, that is what we will do. That's the course of action we will take. But it's going to take some calibration, at a little bit of the start, figure out exactly what is going to be the optimal utility, and then we will go from there and we'll explore different avenues like that.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. And I guess just in terms of a broader utility, is this something that you think currently exists amongst other NFT projects? Is this something that was inspired by another project, or is this completely novel utility that you think is going to revolutionize NFTs?
So what I think is, I know for a fact that no other NFT projects have this, unless there's one that's super, super under the radar that I've never heard of and no one who I pitched this to has heard of. But what I will say is it's a product that will let people engage within the ecosystem more, and it'll really perpetuate the ability for people to, exchange NFTs and make these transactions.
I know you can't. The gears are spinning in my head because I'm a big utility maxi. I've always been the future of NFTs, the next big huge and doing something revolutionary. Right? I feel mainly.
Can you hear me? I didn't hear what you said. If you can hear me. Hold on. Can you hear me? Ross, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can find you.
Okay, there we go. My thing's lagging. Let me try and get to a correct location. Is that better?
You okay, Grant?
Can you speak one more time?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay now?
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
Keep getting. All right. Sweet. Yeah, I was just saying, I feel like in the past, it's mainly been
Ross, hold on. I can't hear you. I don't know if it's something on my end. I'm trying to move around.
Yeah, you got like at the moment.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Ross is lagging a little bit hard.
Oh, okay. I'll just wait.
Shortly. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Gas Guzzlers team.
Well, let me talk a little bit about our project, I guess, in the meantime. So, basically what we're doing is, we recognize the whitelist grinding system is a little outdated. We've noticed that within these recent free mints, a lot of people are dumping bags right off mint because, they grind really hard for the blacklist. And then people who don't get the actual, or whitelist rather, people who don't get the actual whitelist, tend to buy right off floor, and that'll be like a 0.05. Like we saw that with Meeps. Meeps, they pumped right to 0.05 and then they pumped right back down to 0.02, 0.01. So we're seeing that. So we're changing the blacklist meta or whitelist meta, but we're calling this blacklist, and this is what we're calling a no bullshit form of whitelist. So there's no grinding, right? We don't want you to repost, comment on everything, make us art, just get whitelist. We don't want you to shill our project. We want you to give us quality engagement 3 times. And we're going to do this through 3 forms in which we ask our community. It's going to be open for 24 hours a form. We're going to ask our community creative lore questions, and we've done one of these forms and we got about 4,000 responses, and this was this Monday. And we drop these forms right after every animation because it lets our community build the lore and build the story of our utility with us so they can really get involved. So this is what we like. We want a simple blacklist where if you're just involved with the marketing campaign and you recognize that we're doing these forms, then you can actually get blacklisted because you should have an opportunity to buy the project if you're following it, And then we have early access for all the people that fill out all 3 forms. Then you'll get early access.
Awesome. I think that's great, honestly. I mean, you're definitely right. The whitelist grinding kind of got a little bit oversaturated. And I mean, it's really no secret that the market's a little bit cooler than it was. In terms of being more of a bear right now. So I think that's great. I think it's kind of weird when projects are still doing super elaborate whitelists to the point where they're not even minting out. So I'm glad you guys are doing that. People have interest in the project. I think people definitely will. I'm waiting for some new novel utility to come out and change this. I know you guys are just teasing it and you can't say what the full utility is yet, but I'm very excited for the announcement on what it actually is.
Thank you. We have a little sneak peek dropping tomorrow. I think it'll reveal a lot to our utility.
Awesome. Can't wait. So I guess in the meantime, is there anything else you can tell us about the project? You guys have told us about the team. You've given us a little bit about the background, a little bit about the artwork. I guess I'm just maybe talk about your experience with NFTs and what you think specifically about the aspect and why you chose to focus your project there.
Yeah, so Longshot and I actually both really liked BMC, and we liked this project called Jeans before we even became founders. And these were both long-term projects. Chains is a crypto jeweler project where he makes digital mix of he's trying to combine the physical and the digital world of jewelry. So he's giving holders. What'd you say? All right, well, I'll continue. So it's Chains and BMC. BMC has, I think, over 200 miners, and they're looking to add 200 more. And by getting there was originally a 10,000 collection for BMC, Blockchain Miners Club, and then they burned, if you burn 2 BMCs, you would get an ultra miner and you would produce double the production of their coin as an OG miner. So they burn the collections. Blockchain miners, I think they're really, really cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Gas Team, you're loud.
Okay. So yeah, blockchain miners, they're a very sustainable project. And that's what Longshot and I really look for when investing in these crypto projects. It's sustainability. Chains actually the other project flew their holders out to Punta Cana if you own 10 plus chains. So that was really cool for me. And that's a way to, create a community, literally IRL, right? And it's a private resort that they had everything paid for. And that to me was enough for me to invest in the project, to see that they would put that much back into actually form a community. That's a project to me that can stay successful. And their floor held through the bear market. So their tactics have proved successful. They actually went from, I believe they went from 0.05 all the way up to 0.15 in the bear market. And then they settled at 0.1. And then I think they might be a little down right now, but they did pretty well. So that's kind of what we look for. We look for longevity and rewarding your holders. We want value.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about what are your plans, right? So like if that's what your ideals are in terms of let's say how you would like to reward them, do you have a plan for some things that you might implement, and or like how are you going to achieve them on a monetary standpoint, right? Like we've seen a lot of issues come from projects just running out of funds, right? Like doing large giveaways or creating competitions, and they are like very short-lived hype. So what are your thoughts on combating some of that, maybe providing a new avenue that we might have not seen yet?
Yeah, so the best model I think to look at this for an example to get past this problem, because this is a problem nearly every NFT project has, is that these projects really don't have a form of sustainable cash flow, right? Premint has a form of sustainable cash flow where they can always keep upgrading, right? Like they introduced the Discord bot to servers, right? Apelist also has this with their Alpha bot. So we know there are actually streams and methods of cash flow which NFTs can basically operate on, right? Like a business, like it should be. And what we view it as is kind of the initial minters, the initial investors, right, are seed investors. And you're getting, like if you compare it to BAYC, they're seed investors, right? And then it eventually gets to a point to where they own portion of the business. And that's kind of what NFTs are supposed to be. So we do have a lot of, or no, I wouldn't say a lot, but we have up to 5 methods of cash flow that we're ready to implement and we're looking to implement. Obviously, it depends on how much we mint for, how our community feels about it. We're not going to produce something that our community doesn't like. And it also depends on the market at the time. So we're not going to announce any of those cash flow methods right now, but we're looking to implement them post-mint almost immediately.
Awesome. Also, can you guys hear me okay? I'm having some technical issues on my end, so just want to make sure you're good.
No, you're good. We can hear
you. Sweet. Yeah, so I guess, can you talk to me about when you guys are planning to actually launch your project for Mint, and then maybe talk to me about where you think the NFT market is right now, the state of the market, where you might think that might be heading, and where your role is launched now in that?
So what was the first part of that question? Sorry.
First part is where you think the NFT market is right now.
Okay, so where I think the NFT market is, I think this is going to be very surprising, but I think it's at probably the best point it's been, because as of right now, the overall market is down, right? But we see that only the diamond hand holders, only the people that are really invested in NFTs are here. So I think to launch a project now is probably the best time you can launch, because you're going to get the most loyal NFT people. They're not going to sell. They're not going to paper hand during the change in the market, right? They're here for the bear market. So I think the ETH going up paired with that it's a great time. People are ready to inject liquidity. ETH might go up. People want to leverage that ETH with NFTs. I honestly think it's the best time to be launching in the next 3 to 5 weeks, which is when we would be minting.
Ross, you there? Cool. So, looks like we got him to speak.
Oh yeah, I was just wondering, EQ Poppy, did they rug? I'm not sure if that was my end, but I cut out for me.
No, I think it's coming from your end. We're all loud and clear over here. No worries.
Oh man. Oh yeah, you're so right. Connection on my end. You want to step in for a second, EQ Poppy? I'm going to try to fix my Wi-Fi here. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, where did we leave off? He was hitting you with some.
We were talking about the market.
Yeah, macro energy market, right? So I'll actually play devil's advocate to that, right? So you're thinking along the lines that it's going to be the best diamond handers throughout the bear market, because they are investing into your project. What are some of the things that, might want to make them stay, right? Like, we're seeing a lot of projects. It becomes more difficult to launch during this period, not because ETH is going up, but more so because they fail to retain value, right? Like, they want to get a quick flip, or they are there for the short-lived run of the project because they fail to see the longer term vision, right? A lot of these projects, they try to aim for a vision that either takes too long to formulate, right? Or it happens too quickly and then it just catches on fire and burns. So can you shed light on like what you guys are doing, whether that's, gamification, whether that's lore, building a strong community? And, we understand what building a strong community means, right? That it takes a lot of work, a lot of ethic, and it's something that you got to do on a daily basis.
Yeah. So, what I would say, I would look at pre-mint again. I would say if you're a project and the next day people are no longer interested in your project, then that would indicate that your project probably had no roadmap. First of all, right? That is happening with a lot of these free mints. But the problem with the free mint is you're expecting someone to create a business for you for free almost. Like, you give the project no money, and then they have to then make some utility based out of no money, which is extremely hard. I mean, even a utility that I would consider no money, which would be Alphabot, you still have to, fund people to set that up and create it, and you have to have people running it. You have to host it on a server. So you still need the leverage of monetary cash flow if you're investing in a business. And the business will ultimately, these NFTs that are treated like businesses will be the ones that last a long time, like Yuga Labs. Always innovating, always doing the next step. Their community doesn't have to prompt them to do that. So those projects will last long. I would look to Premint again just because they're a great example. Mulligan did a great example with that project. He really built it out. Premint has a utility that all their holders will use, and their floor is close to 1 ETH all the time. So, he's really shown us and me what's possible.
All right, I'm going to try one more time, EQ Poppy, if that's cool. But that was a great answer, man. Absolutely. I think that having cash flow for just in order to run the project is 100% on the money.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely need a runner.
Let's call a spade here. It's a business. It's not just a degen community thing anymore. It's Web3 is developing into an actual place of business, and that's what we need.
Absolutely. So I definitely appreciate your answer as to why you chose to launch here, and I appreciate EQ Poppy as well. Really appreciate the devil's advocate. Definitely a great counterpoint to raise. And you said you're considering multiple different ways to raise that cash flow, right? And you're going to be adjusting it depending on what's best for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be dynamic, our whole project.
Awesome. And do you have any information about when you guys are going to start minting? I know you already mentioned the blacklist and that anyone can get involved as long as they fill out a few different forms. Do you have a time frame for when the actual mint would be?
Yeah, I would say about 3 to 5 weeks is an accurate time frame.
Awesome. Okay, Cool. I know that you guys are shrouded in a bit of mystery, so I'm sort of running out of things that we can ask, but I'm very excited about your project. And there's nothing wrong with keeping it short and sweet. I definitely am very excited about Gas Guzzlers, and I'm personally going to mint a decent bit of them. Is there anything else about Gas Guzzlers that you haven't been able to talk to us about yet that you wanted to broadcast to our listeners? And this is recorded too, so I want to assure you that this is going to reach our whole community.
I just want to say, just keep watching. We have something special in store. We're new founders, but we're doing things new. You need new people in the space. You need creativity, and that's what we're trying to bring to the space. We're trying to, do what's best for Web3, what's best for the community.
Awesome. Really appreciate that. Definitely big on community at MVHQ. EQ Poppy, anything else on your end? Feel free to hop in if you have any questions.
No, I think that was really good point.
Okay, awesome. Well, I guess we'll keep this one short and sweet. I'm really excited about this project, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to speak to MVHQ, speak to the people of Twitter, and yeah, we're going to be following along and really looking forward to tomorrow's announcement. Excited to see what this utility might be.
Oh, yeah. All right, thank you guys so much for having us. Guzz on.
Guzz on, guys. Appreciate it.